Ladies and gentlemen, tanks in the streets of Harare, soldiers swarming the suburbs. A shadowy figure rises to power. Is Zimbabwe military sending a chilling message? The truth is unfolding right now, and it's bigger than you think. Smash that subscribe button, hit the bell, and brace yourself as we expose what is really happening in the city of Harare. This week, Harare, a city on the edge. Armored vehicles rumble through the neighborhoods like Glenview and Kuadzana. Troops are everywhere. The Zimbabwe National Army calls it a routine exercise, but the streets tell a different story. A high-stakes promotion in the military ranks has tongues wedging and fears are rising. Is this just a drill or a prelude to something far more dangerous? Let's rip the curtain of the Zimbabwe military moves and find out what is happening, ladies and gentlemen. From June 3 to 6, 2025, the Zimbabwe National Army has unleashed a so-called routine training exercise across Harare. Colonel Shengiwe Dube, the Zimbabwe National Army's mouthpiece, insists it's just business as usual. Troop strengths and heavy equipment moving through places like Dzivarasekwa and Glenora. But let's be real, this feels like a show of force. Here's why the setting pulses racing. Unsettling presence. Military hardware in quiet suburbs. That's not just training. Is this a statement? Suspicious timing. With Zimbabwe political cauldron bubbling, this display screams power play and public fear. We see X buzzing with reactions. Some shrug it off, but others smell trouble brewing. Is this really just a drill, or the Zimbabwe National Army is flexing its muscle for a reason we are not being told? Hold on, because it gets even wilder. Walter Tapfumaneyi promotion. Who is he? While Harare streets pulse with military might, a bombshell drops at the top. Walter Tapfumaneyi, a shadowy intelligence mastermind, has been crowned Army Chief of Staff. This isn't just a promotion, it's a seismic shift. Here's why it's got everybody talking. Who is he? Tapfumaneyi is a veteran spy master linked to Zimbabwe's so-called darkest operations. Power games exposed are ablaze with rumors. He is a linchpin in President Mnangagwa's inner cycle, fueling talk of ZANU-PF succession war. What is at stake? His rise could mean the military is tightening its grip on Zimbabwe's future, or signaling a chaos to come. This isn't just a new job title. It's a move that could reshape Zimbabwe's power structure. But how does it tie to those tanks in Harare? The bigger picture. In Zimbabwe, the military doesn't just defend, it dominates. The Zimbabwe National Army has been the backbone of power from toppling Mugabe in 2017 to propping up ZANU-PF's rule. Today's moves are no accident. Here is the chilling reality. Kingmakers in uniform. The army doesn't just follow orders, it writes them, shaping who rises and who falls. And the perfect storm, with economic collapse, the elections on the horizon, this show of force could be a warning to rivals or to the nation as a whole. Is there a hidden agenda? Tapfumaneyi's promotion and those exercises might be ZANU-PF battering down the hatches for a practical showdown. What would be the end game? Is this about control, intimidation, or something even darker? Zimbabwe future hangs in the balance. We see various posts on social media. We see this one here, made on 3 June, and it reads, the Zimbabwe National Army will conduct a routine field training in Harare from 3 to 6 June 2025, as announced by Colonel Dube, Director of Army Public Relations. The exercise will occur in suburbs including Glenview, Glenora, Kwazana, Zimbabwe, and Mount Hamden, and Westgate Primary along Solomon Mjuru Road. So we see now the Zimbabwe National Army is making an announcement because recently Pavaimbe drills, personal announcement, there will be a lot of talk in Zimbabwe. So it continues. The Zimbabwe National Army emphasized that the daytime exercise is standard procedure to maintain operational readiness and not a response to any threat. Residents are advised not to panic and to continue daily activities while remaining cautious of military convoys. So we see they are really committed to communicating with the masses of Zimbabwe. Then we see another one made on the 4th. Soldiers in Harare spark memories of 2017 coup. So this is a summary of what was reported by the ZimI. Zimbabwe National Army commenced a 3-day field training exercise on 3 June 2025 in Harare suburbs, including Kwazana, Ziwarasekwa, Glenora, Mount Hamden, and Westgate, with movements along Solomon Mjuru Road. Colonel Dube, NA Director of Public Relations, assured residents the daytime drills are a routine to maintain operational readiness and urged the public not to panic. Despite assurance, the military presence has evoked memories of 2017 coup that hosted former Robert Gabriel Mugabe, former president. The operation led by General Constantino Chiwenga saw tanks in Harare under the pretext of stabilizing the nation, leading to Mugabe's house arrest and resignation after 13 years in power. Now we are seeing this, ladies and gentlemen. We see another post again. Zimbabwe National Army has assured residents not to be alarmed by the heightened presence of soldiers and military equipment in the city and is conducting a major field training exercise. The operation running from Tuesday to Friday. And this is also posted by the Herald Zimbabwe, ladies and gentlemen. So what is happening in the nation of Zimbabwe, fellow Zimbabweans? What is happening? Then we see on 4 June 2025, a post by Zim-I sparked a firestorm of reactions exposing the raw nerves of Zimbabwe opposition politics. The original post, though cryptic with just a link, triggered wave of responses that laid bare the fractures within the Citizens Coalition for Change CCC, a party once seen as the beacon of hope for a nation grappling with economic decline, political repression, and a restless diaspora. Replies to this post mentioned Nelson CHAMISA, Tendai Biti, Usman Ngube, and even Burkina Faso's military leader Ibrahim Ttraore, revealing a complex web of local grievances and global aspirations. As Zimbabwe teeters on the edge of further political turmoil, this article unpacks the chaos, the voices of the diaspora, and the unexpected influence of a Pan-Africanist icon from West Africa. The CCC's fractured legacy, CHAMISA's exit, and internal betrayals. The Citizen Coalition for Change was born out of necessity and defiance. Formed by Nelson CHAMISA in 2022 after losing control of the MDC alliance to Douglas Monzora, the CCC emerged as a fresh opposition force, adopting yellow as its color and raised index finger as its symbol. CHAMISA, a charismatic leader with a strong following, aimed to sidestep the internal squabbles that had plagued the MDC by creating a movement without formal constitution, a decision that, while strategic at the time, would later haunt the party. By January 2024, CHAMISA resigned, citing government interference that had contaminated and hijacked the CCC. According to a Wikipedia entry on the CCC, his exit followed a power grab by Sengezo Chabangu, who claimed to be the interim Secretary General and allegedly represented a faction of the old MDC alliance guard, including Tendai Biti and Usman Ngube. These two, once vice presidents under CHAMISA in the MDC alliance, were accused by his loyalists of orchestrating a coup to sideline him. The fallout was seismic. Key CHAMISA allies. Remember, it's so allegedly everybody who is doing something claimed to be a CHAMISA ally, and they claim somebody is behind them. Like we see here, they mention names of people like Tendai Biti. Now, these two, once vice presidents under CHAMISA in the MDC alliance, were accused of by his loyalists of orchestrating a coup to sideline him. The fallout was seismic. Father Mahere would also abandon the CCC, leaving allegedly it's in the hands of Tendai Biti and Ngube and Lineti Karenyi Kore, who took over the rotational leadership on the leadership on a rotational basis. The X-thread reflects bitterness that lingers. One user would write, Nelson CHAMISA must not work again with sellouts, echoing a shared sentiment shared by many of CHAMISA supporters. Another user sarcastically questioned the narrative being pushed by the party leaders, hinting at a vendetta driving the discourse. The term sellout, a loaded word in Zimbabwean politics, surfaced repeatedly, with Ed Charuka directly accusing Zim-I of being a sell-out. These reactions paint a picture of a deeply divided opposition where trust has eroded and accusations of betrayal dominate the conversation. Then we see diaspora voices, frustration and sarcasm on X. And then come the Ttraore factor. A Pan-Africanist icon enters the chat. Amid the local drama, an unexpected figure emerged in the X thread, Ibrahim Ttraore, the 37-year-old military leader of Burkina Faso. Several users referenced Ttraore, with some Brown asking, how is this bimbo Ttraore, and others mocking the connection as fake? But why a West African leader future in a Zimbabwe political spot? Ttraore, who seized the power in Burkina Faso in 2022, has become a global symbol of Pan-Africanism. As detailed in May 2025, a BBC article known for his fiery rhetoric against Western imperialism, Ttraore gained international attention at the 2023 Russia-Africa Summit, where he urged African leaders to stop behaving like puppets who dance every time the imperialists pull the string. His charisma and youth have resonated widely, even earning praises from figures like African-American rapper Meek Mill, though not without controversy. France's president has dismissed Ttraore as part of a Baroque alliance with neo-imperialists. In the Zimbabwean context, Ttraore appeal likely stems from a shared frustration with neo-colonialism and a desire for strong youthful leadership. CHAMISA 847 has long positioned himself as a new generation leader, but his exit from CCC, many may have left a void that figures like Ttraore symbolically fill. The diaspora mention of Ttraore, even if sarcastic, reflects a broader yearning for a Pan-Africanist vision that transcends national borders, a vision that contrasts sharply with the CCC internal squabbles. Big up to everybody who's watching us live right now. Nila Rusike, Obey Matutu, Wellington Chiengwa, Kaukam, Matalika, Dani Sampala, Kulu Shumba, everybody who is watching us live right about now. So now we see voices again are calling on Nelson Chamisa. Nelson Chamisa in Zimbabwe. There is no strong opposition political party. The question remains, what happens next? Big up to Kulushumba, Dani Sampala, Kausiam, Mutalika, Wellington, Chayengwa, everybody who is watching us live right about now, guys. Make sure you click the like button and subscribe to TCN Live if you've not yet already done so that you never miss any of our videos. I'll be back again at 11 p.m. May the good Lord bless you. May the good Lord bless everybody who is watching us live right about now. We will continue as we talk about Walter Tapfumaneyi, Walter Tapfumaneyi, who is he, the man we see a new promotion in the Zimbabwe National Army. In fact, let's talk about Walter Tapfumaneyi before we sign out. Since we have time, we have 7 minutes before we get to 30 minutes, fellow Zimbabweans. To those who are watching us live, you can write your comments in the top chat or in the super chat. That's how I can get to see your comments so I can give you my shout out. President Emmerson Mnangagwa has just appointed former intelligence official accused of election interference to a top army role. What does this mean for Zimbabwe's political future? Let's break it down. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you never miss an update. On May 29, 2025, Zimbabwe President Emmerson Mnangagwa made a bold move, appointing Usher Walter Tapfumaneyi as the new chief of staff in the Zimbabwe National Army. Now, Tapfumaneyi isn't just a new face. He is a retired brigadier general and was a deputy director general of the Central Intelligence Organization, or CIO, until March this year. But here is where it gets controversial. Tapfumaneyi has been accused by the opposition groups and human rights organizations of orchestrating voter intimidation during the 2023 elections. Reports, including one from Human Rights Foundation, allege that Tapfumaneyi deployed agents from group called Forever Associates of Zimbabwe, or FAZA, outside polling stations to intimidate voters. So this is just an allegation, an action that violates Zimbabwe's Electoral Act. The US even slapped sanctions on him in March 2024, accusing him of leading efforts to disrupt the elections processes and alleging his involvement in past kidnappings. Despite this, Mnangagwa has promoted Tapfumaneyi to the rank of Major General, replacing Lieutenant General Emmanuel Matutu, who is now the Army Commander. Sources told Zim Live that Mnangagwa might be eyeing Tapfumaneyi to take over as Army Commander by 2027. This comes after another big reshuffle in March 2025 with Mnangagwa, when Mnangagwa removed Lieutenant General Anselm Namosanyatwe as NA Commander amid fears of a coup and growing tensions within the ruling ZANU-PF party, according to speculation. Analysts say these moves could be Mnangagwa's way of consolidating power by placing loyalists in key security positions, especially with the military playing a huge role in Zimbabwe's politics. Remember the 2017 coup that ousted Robert Gabriel Mugabe. Now, this appointment has sparked a firestorm of reactions on X. Some users like Tech Vibes call it a reward for election rigging, labeling Zimbabwe a banana republic. Others like Matt Mutema questioned Mnangagwa's intentions, asking why he is making strategic reshuffles in the security sector if he is not planning to extend his presidency past the constitutional term, which ends 2028. Redback 13 even suggested that Mnangagwa's wife, Auxilia, and her family might be pulling the strings behind the decisions. So talking of Mnangagwa's wife is something that is sensational and that would spark a reaction. On the flip side, voices are more supportive, praised the appointment, saying it's a step towards peace, unity, and development in Zimbabwe. And Free Mufumuri noted that politics aside, Tapfumaneyi is a smart guy with a sharp intellect, but not everyone is buying the hype. We see Obet Mahashi raised concerns about Zimbabwe's National Army chain of command, arguing that promotions should be based on merit, not political loyalty, especially for a retired officer like Tapfumaneyi. On the broader context, this isn't the story for now, but we keep you updated for more developments. This isn't isolated. Zimbabwe 2023 elections were already marred by reports of voter intimidation, arrests of civil society members, and internet shutdowns, according to Amnesty International. And with FAZ, a group allegedly linked to ZANU-PF, at the center of all these controversies. Tapfumaneyi Tapfumaneyi's promotion is raising red flags about accountability and the military's role in Zimbabwe's future. Could this be a sign of more power consolidation ahead of potential unrest, or it is just business as usual in Harare? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We would love to hear from you. If you found this video useful, give it a thumbs up. Share with your friends and subscribe for more balanced news updates. Until next time, this is Dr. Clarence broadcasting from Zimbabwe, Africa, under the state of the Kingdom of God. Big up to Liberty, Wationgo, Trimo, James, Glotin Kiwani says, is there anything to write home about in the military drills? I do believe that's our impatience for change. See its possibility and every slight military movement. That's very true, Mr. Glotin Kiwani. Thank you very much for that thoughtful comment there. That is very true. As Zimbabweans, we should be responsible, fellow Zimbabweans, and not just panic every time there is any movement. Thank you very much, Glotin Kiwani, for that one. Obey Matutu, Nila Rusike, everybody who was watching us live. Thank you very, very much, guys.